All right, we said we got some deals, and there's a look at Chevron, because that's one of the things behind them. Not the biggest deal this morning, but, Jim, one I thought we'd focus on more than some of the others. We'll get to the First Horizon deal, of course, being bought by TD, and perhaps a couple of the others. But, this is important also. There's another UN report basically saying climate change is coming so fast that there's really almost, at this point, we're running out of time. You've heard that before. Chevron buying Renewable Energy Group for $61.50 a share. It's an all-cash deal.
Yeah.
Total enterprise value, because they got about $400 million in cash, ends up being a little less than $3 billion. But what's interesting is it's part of their effort at Chevron to try to get them to 100,000 barrels a day of, you see it right there, of renewable fuels production capacity. Now, by the way, they do about 1.1 million barrels of oil. So even that, they're talking in 2020, they're talking about roughly 10% of their 2020 production by 2030. Unclear whether any of this stuff's going to be enough. You can take a look there. They've got some projections for us. Kind of reminded me of some of the SPAC projections. 2025, 500 to 600 million in EBITDA. But if you do believe those projections, then you get to a multiple that's not too bad.
Right, but I think the good news here from Mike Wirth, CEO of Chevron, is that when he upped how much he's going to go from 7 billion to 10 billion, there were analysts
in spending. You're talking about
for renewables,
on efforts to reduce carbon.
There were analysts and buy-side people I spoke to who said, we got to run from him because he's going to spend a lot of pie-in-the-sky money. Well, this is anything but pie-in-the-sky money. I think it makes a lot of sense. There is C.J. Warner was on, the CEO of REGI, a year ago for Mad Money, and I was really impressed with her.
Oh, wow.
What she had, with what she had in terms of renewable fuels capabilities. You're going to have a business that's headquartered in Ames.
Yep.
She is going to join the board. When I spoke to Mike today, Mike Wirth, it is very clear that his strategy is such that he is going to be ahead of everyone.
Exxon might have a couple things to say about that.
Well, will they?
Yeah, they will.
And what will they do with Russia?
They're not that big in Russia either. No. They're not. That was some good decision-making probably from a long time ago.
True.
Lee Raymond and the like. But, listen, to be fair, this thing is they're buying it well below its highs. If you take a look, this thing hit highs far above where it's actually getting taken out about a year and a half ago. And even the projected multiple on current EBITDA is below 10. But again, they're talking about it getting below 5 pretty quickly because they do expect a significant generation.
They can blow out her infrastructure.
That's not showing what we were talking about, which is you got to go back
a
ways, guys. Yeah, it's a nice premium.
But I do think, David, we have to stay close to what Mike Wirth can do with REGI. That's what matters more to me than where it is now.
Yeah.
And there's ample opportunity for him to grow this. Look, they are the king of biodiesel renewables, and she's been the leader.
Right.
So, it's great to have her on the board. I think it matters.
Yeah.